Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I am so happy to be back in front of this camera. I have been so down in the dumps lately. I'm not gonna go into that too deep, but I just wanna say it feels so good to be back and to be playing with some brand new makeup. I have some brand new products right in front of me from Huda Beauty. This foundation right here that she recently launched, this is, I believe, it is the Faux Filter Stick Foundation. This has a lot of promising reviews, so I am so excited to try this out. I also picked up the foundation brush that goes along with it, so we're gonna put this to the test. But I also picked up the Nude Naughty palette. Now, I haven't reviewed, or at least done a dedicated review to a Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette on my channel ever. Please excuse if you guys can hear that in the background. Of course, like clockwork, the second I sit down to make a video, it's Wednesday and they're doing the test sirens like right outside my window, so I apologize for that. But anyways, to get back on track, look at how gorgeous this palette is. Oh my goodness, there is just something about the color story, the metallics in here. This is so beautiful. I cannot wait to try this out. Now, I'm going to put timestamps in the description box below if you're not interested in seeing the foundation and you just want to see the palette, or vice versa. I'll have the timestamps down below so that you can kind of skip around and look at the parts that you are truly interested in seeing. So we are going to start out with the foundation. Obviously, I have no makeup on my face. I literally have on the NYX Honey Do Me Up primer, and that is it. In the foundation, I picked up the shade 250G Cheesecake. This is for light to medium skin tones with a more warm or golden undertone. So again, 250G. This has a very unique shape. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous, and I love the way that this actually twists up. I don't know why, but if you're into like ASMR and sensory type things, you'll totally get what I mean if you have this. It does not have a scent, which I am ecstatic about. I am not a huge fan of fragrance in my products. In the past, I've noticed that some of Huda's products are really quite fragrant, so I'm happy to see that this is not. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in so you guys can see this in action, see how it works on my skin. Obviously, I am more of a dry skin type, so I'm gonna throw that out there. I do suffer from some hormonal dermatitis, some hormonal acne, so I'll also be making note on how well this formula works with those skin conditions as well. So let me go ahead and zoom you guys in. I don't know why I wear giant earrings on the days that I'm testing out foundations, but whatever. Now, one thing I do know with stick foundations is less is more. I always feel tempted to just drag a ton of the product all over my face, but things are gonna get cakey real quick. So we're literally just gonna do swipe, swipe here, one here, and one down the nose. So we're gonna start with that. This looks like a pretty good color match for me. I did dampen just ever so slightly the foundation brush. I have dry skin, and that's a tip. If you like to use brushes with your foundation, but you have dry skin, definitely spray some setting spray or just a little bit of water onto the end of your brush, and it can make a world of difference when blending. So we're just gonna start going. I think this is supposed to be more of a medium coverage. Now, usually what I've been doing is covering up my blemishes with a little bit of concealer first before going in with foundation, but obviously I'm not gonna do that this time because I really just wanna see how the foundation performs. Now, the brush feels very soft. It feels very nice. I almost wish it was just a tad more stiff, a little bit more dense. I don't know why. I feel like I would get maybe just a slightly better application. So far, half of my face, I can definitely add quite a bit more product. I'm gonna kind of concentrate more right here, there, and we'll go a little bit right here. This foundation so far definitely feels very seamless. I feel like I can't even feel it on my face, and it's kind of messing with me a little bit because I feel like I should be feeling something, and I feel like I'm like not getting much coverage out of it, but at the same time, I am. So again, it does blend very nicely. It is very much so a natural skin finish. I don't see it bunching or gathering around my nose in any way. This is really, really nice so far. So far, I think that this blends out beautifully on the skin. First impressions, it's not exaggerating any pores. My skin very much so does look very airbrushed. I do see a change in the pores on my forehead. Everything looks a little bit diminished, a little bit softer. Only thing I will say is about the shade is that I do feel like this leans a bit more on the neutral side. I feel like I'm getting more of like a pinky, maybe neutral undertone coming through versus more so of like a warm golden undertone. So I do just want to make note of that. At least it's what it seems like to me. Let me know what you guys think of the color match in the comments down below. I can't tell if it's oxidizing slightly. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my makeup, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the eyeshadow palette. I am going to do a little bit of a wear test with this foundation. I don't know how long I'm going to wear it for, but I do want to wear it at least for a few hours just to see if it breaks up or separates. I don't know if I'm going to do check-ins or not. I may just update you guys in the description box below. Wear this while I'm editing, doing some things around the house. But I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup. I'll be right back, and then we're going to go ahead and play with the Naughty palette. All right, quick first impressions on this foundation before we move on to the eyeshadow palette. I am really impressed so far with the way this foundation looks. Number one, products layered beautifully on top of it. I don't feel like it oxidized too much. I think that my skin really does look airbrushed and like there is a filter on it. I do have larger pores right here on my forehead, and I feel like even though I didn't use a pore filling primer or anything underneath it, I feel like the foundation is really doing a fantastic job at really blurring out a lot of my skin imperfections. I think I got fantastic coverage out of it considering I didn't really do much to conceal my blemishes underneath the foundation. I think it looks really, truly beautiful. I didn't even have to set my face really. I only set under my under eyes and kind of around my nose, my mouth here, but that's it. I don't feel tackiness or stickiness. With that being said, let's move on to this gorgeous eyeshadow palette. First off, the packaging is beautiful. I love the simplicity of it. I love the font. I love the feel of this. It feels very, very heavy. Now you do get 18 shades. It says it is in 5 ready to layer textures. You have 8 velvety soft pigmented mattes. It says you have 5 high shine buttery metallics, 3 multi-reflective shimmer cream marbles, 1 matte cream marble, and 1 sheer pearly gloss hybrid. Before we even dive into creating a look or whatever, I do want to comment that this shade right here, Slippery it's called. Let me tell you guys, spoiler, the names on here, they're a little cringe. I don't really feel that this gloss hybrid does a whole lot. It has like these reflective bronzed pearls in it, but I don't feel like it's very shiny or really that reflective. For a gloss, I would want something that looks just a little bit more wet. I feel like you can get that look by simply taking a little bit of a metallic shadow and mixing it in with an Aquaphor or a Vaseline, putting it on your lids and getting that effect. I'm just not super impressed with this. Let's talk about the swatches of the other shades in this palette. Beautiful color story. Love the shade selection. Love the diversity of the different textures and formulas in this. And the swatches are absolutely beautiful. I just did 1 swipe swatches. I didn't use any primer or anything underneath, just to really give you guys a true impression of how these swatched on just basic moisturized skin. I really think I want to go for a very deep smoky look with this palette. I just get very kind of sultry bedroom type eyes out of this palette. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now I only primed my lids with some concealer and some setting powder. We're gonna start off with this shade right here, Hypnotic. I'm gonna use this Sigma Diffused Crease Brush. This is an E38. We're just gonna start with that as my transition shade. And holy smokes, we've got a lot of pigment out of that one shade. So a little bit goes a very long way. As you can see, I went in with a much lighter hand on this eye. Now I'm seeing that this is actually blending out very easily. That is a good sign. We love to see our matte shades blending out with ease. So that shade is gorgeous. This is one of those shades, I always say this when I find a good transition shade, that you can just put in the crease, swipe all over the lid. If you just want a little bit of color, a little bit of contour to the eye, this is a gorgeous shade for that. If you are someone someone who's more of a one and done type shadow person, this is perfect for that. I'm gonna go ahead and dip in now with this shade right here, Juicy. I'm gonna stick with that same brush. I'm gonna tap in one time, and I'm gonna focus this more so on the outer part of the eye, just following the natural shape. I really truly love Sigma brushes. They are some of my favorites. I feel like they just blend shadows so beautifully. They're so easy to use. They're very long lasting, high quality brushes. So far, I am really truly in love with the way that these shades are blending that I've tried out thus far. It looks absolutely stunning. So now I think this is where I really want to warm it up. I'm going to dip into the shade right here, Naughty, sticking with that same brush, dipping in one time and really focusing this just on the very outer corner and on to my lid. Now, I got this palette for 20% off because I purchased it using the sale, obviously, that Sephora has going on. I am VIB Rouge, so I did save quite a bit of money on it. I think before any discounts and after tax, this palette would have been around, I think, $72, which is pretty expensive. I wanted to get this review out before that deal was over. I believe that the Beauty Insider sale is going on until November the 9th. You can save either 10, 15, or 20%. So if you're just a Beauty Insider, you get 10% off. VIB gets 15 and VIB Rouge gets 20%. And it's an unlimited code, so you can use it as many times as you would like. All right, so far we have tried 3 matte shades, and I do have to say that these are some of the most soft, blendable matte shadows that I have used in a very long time. I am very impressed with the way that these are blending. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love the shades. This is looking really quite stunning. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of this turns out. Now, I do want to take a slightly smaller brush, and I want to go just a step further with deepening this up. I am going to now dip into this shade right here, Spicy. These types of shades I feel like are a little bit harder to formulate. I do typically see a bit more of an issue with blending, so that's why I really want to try this one out to see if it looks patchy or if we get a nice blend just like the rest of the shades. And what I'm seeing is that this is actually blending out quite nicely. That is impressive. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, so let's go ahead and try out some of these metallics. I really need to figure out what shade I want to put. I think I'm going to start off by taking Provocative right here. I'm going to put that in the center of the lid. Wow, that is pigmented. In fact, you know what? No, I think I want this all over the lid. This is gorgeous. I barely put my finger into the pan. Wow. It's got all these little like micro reflex of glitter and shimmer. This is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Absolutely stunning. Oh my goodness. This has to be one of my favorite eye looks that I have ever created. Absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and do some work here on this lower lash line. I think I'm just going to go in and start off with Juicy. I'm going to use this same detail brush right here. This is the ColourPop E19. Just going to fluff that out ever so gently all along the lower lash line. And we are going to deepen this up as well. I'm going to take this Lamora detail pencil brush, and now we're going to dip into Spicy right here. I'm going to use that right along the lash line just to kind of create a more of a smoky look. I'm going to take this bright shade right here, Flower Power, and we're going to put that in the inner corner. Oh, and I should mention this is a Laura Lee L16. Should have went in with a brush that was just a little bit more precise. I feel like I'm fluffing this out just a bit, but that is okay. And we're going to take that right along the brow bone just to highlight there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pop on some eyeliner and mascara, and I will be right back with my final thoughts. All right, so here is the final look using the Huda Beauty Nude Naughty palette. I have to say that this actually shocked me. I had a feeling it was going to work well because I've used some of Huda's other eyeshadows before, but I think that this kind of exceeded my expectations. The blend of the mattes and even some of the deeper tones, similar tones that I have in other palettes that I find to sometimes be a little bit more tricky to blend, these worked beautifully. And oh my goodness, the metallic shades, especially the shade that I have all over the lid, which is the shade Provocative, absolutely gorgeous. It has a lot of dimension. It looks wet and shiny and all the micro reflex of glitter. It is beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful palettes that I have seen in a long time. Like I said, just the color story, the dimension, the different formulas. This is gorgeous. The only negative thing I have to say about this thus far is this glossy shade down here that's supposed to look very wet. It just doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't look glossy or glassy enough to achieve the look that I believe that it should give with this type of formula. Again, that's just my opinion. Leave me a comment down below if you have this palette and you had ways of making it work differently, or if you used it underneath some of the other shadows. If you just have any tips and tricks, especially for others who are interested in this palette, please leave a comment down below. But I do have to say this palette does get so far an A+ from me. First impressions, if you can pick it up during the sale, A+, 100% check it out, especially if you're looking for a color story like this. These are your types of shades. It does have a lot of versatility as well. You can create more neutral looks with this, much more sultry, deeper looks. It does have a lot of flexibility shade-wise as far as the types of looks that you can achieve. This is going to look beautiful on really any skin tone. We have deep enough shades, deep enough neutrals. We have enough mattes in here to really create complete looks for really any complexion across the board. Let's circle back one more time to the foundation. The more that this sits on my skin, the more I am falling in love with it. So I have had it on for about an hour now. My skin just looks beautiful. It's actually giving me like a no makeup look, but on a fuller coverage spectrum. It just looks like my skin. I feel like the foundation is almost undetectable. It looks like it's really warming up nicely. It's getting a nice luminous finish. Again, all the other products I put on top of it blended beautifully. This foundation really truly feels like an effortless product. I do have to say I really enjoy the brush as well. One thing I forgot to mention was this end right here. I used this to blend out my concealer, and first impressions, I am obsessed. I think it blended out my concealer so beautifully in a way that I haven't seen in a long time. It gave me good coverage. It's very, oops, there's powder on it because I used it to set my under eyes as well. It's very soft, and again, this end just works beautiful. I can't wait to use this to kind of blend out like cream contour and sculpt and do those sort of things. I actually did end up really liking the buff side for my foundation. At first, I did comment that I wish it was just a tad bit stiffer, but I think that that's kind of what made it unique, is that it really did make blending out the foundation very truly effortless, and I can't wait to try it out with other products. This brush feels very high end. It feels very luxurious. It's very weighted. It feels like an extremely high quality brush. It feels very nice. So overall consensus, thumbs up. I'm extremely impressed with what I have tried. I definitely would recommend giving these products a try. I just think that these products are beautiful, they're fun, and they worked out beautifully. I am so happy and so impressed. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've tried any of these products. Do you have Huda Beauty products that are your favorite? Has there been some that you tried that you didn't love so much? As always, if you enjoyed this content, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up, share it, and of course, it would mean the world to me if you would hit that subscribe button and the bell button before you go. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.